Middle Asia. Uzbekistan flag. On November 18, 1991, the flag of the Republic of Uzbekistan was formally adopted. Uzbekistan's flag is made up of 4 colors: blue, white, red, and green. The hue blue represents the sky as well as life-giving water, while white represents peace and justice, green represents renewable nature, and red represents the life energy pouring into our bodies. The crescent in the flag represents both the Islamic religion that is prevalent in the country and the country's independence. The 12 stars at the top of the flag represent the 12 founding principles of Uzbekistan, the 12 months of the calendar, and Uzbekistan's 12 provinces. Afghanistan flag. Afghanistan's flag is the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan's flag. The current flag is identical to the one flown between 1930 and 1973 during the monarchy, as well as the flag approved by the Interim Government of Afghanistan on December 22, 2001. On January 4, 2004, the present flag was adopted. Afghanistan altered its national flag more than any other country in the 20th century. Afghanistan has altered its national flag 25 times since 1709. 3 colors make up the flag: black, red, and green. These colors were used in the majority of Afghanistan's historical flags, beginning with the flag established in 1928. The official logo of the Afghan state is in the center. The color black alludes to the period of occupation and persecution, and that it was a gloomy and black period, and that the red color represents a high number of deaths in the name of "there is no God but God," and that the green color represents civilizational and Islamic prosperity and Islamic freedom, and that it will be a green and brilliant period. Flag of the People's Republic of China. Xinglian Song, a Chinese plastic artist and economist, designed the flag of the People's Republic of China in 1949. During the Manchu dynasty, the flag was red with a blue dragon. The meaning of the Chinese flag's colors. The color red represents the blood of the revolutionaries who died. The yellow stars represent the country's and people's culture, and were inspired by the Soviet Union's flag, which was red with a hammer and sickle and 5 yellow stars. The largest 5-pointed star represents China's ruling Communist Party, while the 4 tiny stars represent Chairman Mao Zedong's primary united classes of the people, which are workers, peasants, military, and teachers. Taiwan flag. In 1917, the flag of Taiwan, or the Republic of China, was used for mainland China, and in 1928, it became the official flag of Taiwan. It was specified in the country's constitution, which was promulgated in 1974, in the 6th paragraph. The sun's 12 rays represent the 12 months of the year as well as the 12-digit traditional Chinese clock. The Crimson Land was added by Sun Yat-sen, the founder of the republic who led the revolution, to signify the land saturated in the blood of the rebels against the Qing dynasty's control. Colors. The colors represent the Chinese people's values, which are: blue is the color of patriotism and liberty. White is a color associated with democracy and equality. Red is a sign of people's brotherhood. These values are identical to those of the French people, who are represented on the French flag by the same colors. However, red has a negative connotation when used in place of blue, and vice versa. Japan flag. Japan's national flag is a white rectangular flag with a huge red disc in the center depicting the sun. The flag is formally called as Nishuki, which in Japanese means rising sun, but it is more often known as Hinomaru, which means Japanese flag. The law relating to the national flag and national anthem, which was promulgated and into effect on August 13, 1999, designated this flag as the national flag. Despite the fact that there was no prior legislation declaring the national flag, the Hinomaru banner was widely regarded as Japan's de facto national flag. In the year 1870, at the start of the Meiji era, the government issued 2 decrees, each establishing the usage of Hinomaru as Japan's national flag. On the 27th of February, 1870, Decree number 57 authorized the use of the flag as the national flag for Japanese commerce ships, while Decree number 651 authorized the use of the flag as the recognized flag of the Japanese Navy on October 27, 1870. During the early years of the American occupation of Japan after World War II, the use of the Hinomaru was strictly limited, but this was later lifted. Samurai daimyo used flags that were similar to Hinomaru in ancient times. The Imperial Japanese Navy's Hinomaru and the Rising Sun flag became the principal symbols of the developing Japanese Empire during the Meiji Restoration period. To bolster the idea that the flag was a source of pride and patriotism, propaganda posters, textbooks, and films were deployed. During national holidays, ceremonies, and other government-sanctioned events, citizens in Japan are obligated to display the flag in their houses. During the Second Sino-Japanese War and subsequent crises, a variety of symbols increased allegiance to Japan and the emperor, making Hinomaru more popular. These symbols included everything from written emblems on the flag to painted flags on garments and tableware. The popular perception of the flag diverged, with some Japanese believing that it was the only flag that could represent Japan. However, because of its affiliation with radical nationalism, the flag is rarely flown. As was the case with the use of the flag and national anthem in Japanese public schools, since the end of World War II, this has been a contentious issue. Protests, lawsuits, and at least one death have resulted from disagreements over their use in Hiroshima Prefecture. The flag was designed to represent the people of Okinawa. The events of World War II, as well as the U.S. military presence in Okinawa after the war, have made the flag a symbol of aggression and imperialism for some countries captured by Japan. Despite these flaws, the flag is regarded as a symbol of Japan in Japan and the West. Many Japanese military flags, including the Sunray flag used by the Japanese Navy, are based on Hinomaru's design. North Korea flag. On September 8, 1948, the North Korean flag was formally adopted. A big red horizontal stripe is flanked by two small white frames that separate the upper and lower blue stripes in the North Korean flag. A white circle with a five-pointed star in red is in the left center corner of the red strip. The colors of the North Korean flag have a special meaning. The color red represents the Socialist Revolution, while the red star represents communism. The white represents purity, while the white circle represents yin and yang, one of the old Korean culture's traditional emblems. The color blue represents the people's yearning for friendship and peace, as well as the Pacific Ocean. Mongolia flag. Mongolia's current flag was adopted on February 12, 1992. The three major colors of the Mongolian flag are blue, red, and yellow. South Korea flag. The South Korean national flag is called Taegukgi. Its design represents the yang and yin elements of Eastern philosophy. The middle of the flag is divided into two equal portions by a circle. The positive cosmic force of yang is represented by the upper red section, while the cosmic forces responding to yin are represented by the lower blue part. Yang and yin are masculine and female, respectively. The ideals of constant movements, balance, and harmony that characterize the infinite sphere are embodied by the forces of yang and yin. The circle is encircled by four groups of lines, each of which represents one of the four cosmic elements: air, earth, fire, or water. The meaning of the flag's colors. South Koreans associate white with purity and equality. The color red represents the struggle for independence. The color blue represents the Pacific Ocean. Black represents the South Korean people's ingenuity and strength, as well as the harsh times that the country has faced in the past and today. Southeast Asia. Brunei flag. The flag of the Sultanate of Brunei was established on September 29, 1959, when the Sultanate of Brunei was placed under the protection of the United Kingdom, and it remained the country's official flag until January 1, 1984, when it achieved complete independence from the United Kingdom. The significance of science. Yellow is the royal hue in Southeast Asian countries, and it represents the Sultan of Brunei. On the one hand, white and black represent two of the Sultan's most important ministers. The crescent motif on the coat of arms represents the country's Islamic religion. Brunei Darussalam is written beneath it. The hands represent the Sultanate of Brunei's government's determination to bring peace, prosperity to the Sultanate. The umbrella represents Brunei's Sultanate system, while the two wings represent justice, calm, wealth, and peace. Cambodia flag. This flag was first certified as the official flag of Cambodia on October 20, 1948 AD, and it was reaccredited as the official flag of Cambodia for the second time on June 29, 1993 AD, following the restoration of the monarchy in Cambodia. White, red, and blue make up the majority of the Cambodian flag. The current Cambodian flag consists of two blue stripes and a red stripe with a white depiction of Angkor Wat in the center. The meaning of the Cambodian flag's colors. The Gulf of Thailand is represented by the color blue. The color red represents the struggle for independence. Buddhism is represented by the color white. East Timor flag. East Timor's flag was adopted on May 20, 2002. East Timor's flag is made up of four primary colors: red, yellow, black, and white. The significance of science. The color red represents the struggle for freedom. The color yellow represents the traces of Portuguese colonization in East Timor's history. The color black represents the dark times that must be vanquished. The white star represents optimism for a brighter future. White is the color of tranquility. Indonesia flag. The Indonesian national flag, called in Indonesian as Sang Merah Putih, is based on the Majapahit Empire's banner, which was designed in the 13th century AD. On August 17, 1945, the flag was given at the Indonesian Independence Day ceremony. The flag's design harkens back to that historic day. There's also a patriotic song called Merah Putih, which translates to Made in Indonesia, red and white. Laos flag. On December 2, 1975, Laos officially adopted this flag. Symbols on flags. The red of the flag of the Republic of Laos signifies the bloodshed during the country's war for independence, while the blue represents standing atop the country's wealth. The white disc in the center of the flag signifies the moon over the Mekong River, as well as the country's unification via the Republic of Laos' existing communist government. The flag of the Republic of Laos is the only one without a star among countries with communist regimes. Malaysia flag. The Malaysian flag, Galor Gemilang, was inspired by the American flag, and it features white and red stripes to represent the country's number of states. The top blue square represents the waters and seas that surround Malaysia. The sun represents rebirth and progress. The crescent represents Islam, which is the official religion of Malaysia, an Asian country. Myanmar flag. After the country's constitution was amended, the new flag of Burma, formerly known as Myanmar, was approved on October 21, 2010, along with a change in the national anthem and the official name of the country. It has three horizontal yellow, red, and green stripes with a white star in the middle. Solidarity, serenity, tranquility, courage, and decisiveness are represented by the three colors. The flag's origins can be traced back to Burmese resistance to Japanese occupation during World War II, when it was a crimson flag with a white star in the center. Following independence, the flag was modified to a red square with a blue square bearing a great white star surrounded by 5 smaller white stars, symbolizing solidarity among the many peoples. In 1974, the 5 stars were changed to 14 rings surrounding a manufacturing wheel with a rice plant inside. 2010, after the country's general elections in October, the flag was replaced in its current shape. Philippine flag. The Philippine flag was adopted on June 12, 1898, and it is divided equally horizontally in blue and red. There is also an equilateral triangle in white with a sun in yellow in the middle and 8 rays emanating from it, as well as a star at the top of each corner of the triangle yellow pentagonal. The meaning of the flag's colors. equality, brotherhood, and purity are all represented by the white triangle. Blue is a color that represents peace, justice, and truth. Red represents the Filipino people's bravery, heroism, and patriotism. The sun is a symbol of freedom. The sun's 8 rays represent the 8 Philippine provinces that declared their independence from Spanish colonization in 1896. These are the provinces: Manila, Cavite, Bulacan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, Laguna and Batangas. The 3 stars at the top of each triangle's corner represent the country's 3 main regions: Luzon, the northern group of islands, Visayas, the central group of islands, and Mindanao, the southern group of islands, the southern group of islands. The Philippine archipelago is made up of all of these islands. Singapore flag. When Singapore was granted self-governance within the British Empire in 1959, the Singaporean flag was officially adopted, and it was adopted again on August 9, 1965, when Singapore won independence from British authority. The Singapore flag is divided horizontally into red and white halves. As well as at the upper left corner, a crescent and 5 white stars appear on the flag. The elements of this flag represent a new rising country and represent fraternity and equality among people as well as national ideals. The national flag is not used as a banner aboard ships at sea. The national flag, red and white with a crescent moon and a collection of stars in the center, is flown by merchant ships and pleasure boats. The blue state flag, with the national flag in the top left corner and a red and white nautical compass at the bottom, is flown by non-military government ships such as Coast Guard vessels. The Navy's warships fly a white naval banner with a crimson naval compass, identical to the state's. The usage and display of the national flag is governed by the Singapore Armed Forces rules as well as the Flag and National Anthem Act. These laws have been loosened to allow citizens to fly flags from their vehicles and homes at any time of the year during national holidays. The significance of science. Red represents all people's brotherhood and equality, while white represents purity and goodness. The crescent represents a young and developing nation, while the 5 stars represent the 5 democratic values of peace, progress, justice, and equality. Thailand flag. Thailand's flag was adopted for the first time on September 28, 1917. 3 colors, red, white, and blue, are separated into 5 horizontal stripes on the Thai flag. Vajiravaj Chulalongkorn has been credited with designing the first national flags in Southeast Asia since September 28, 1917. It was a flag that was nearly identical to Costa Rica's, except with blue and red replacing each other. The meaning of the Thai flag's colors. The color red represents life and the blood of martyrs. The white color represents Buddhism, which is the country's official religion. Blue represents the Chakri dynasty, the Gulf of Thailand, and the Mekong River, as well as the Indian Ocean, which separates Thailand from the Indian subcontinent. Vietnam flag. On November 30, 1955, the Republic of Vietnam formally adopted this flag. Signs of the flag. The flag's red color represents communism in Vietnam and the blood of those who have given their lives for their country. Peasants, academics, youth, soldiers, and workers are the 5 social groupings present in the Republic of Vietnam who are working to construct socialism.